Hi, GenderqueerChat, it's Callie. It's Saturday, and the topic this week, as suggested by Joe, is discuss your personal evolution. So I'm really going to stop fidgeting now. Fidgeting with Kirby Grip's going to stop fidgeting with them now. Okay, so I think the biggest change that has happened to me, which has kind of been influenced by coming to terms with gender identity and coming out as genderqueer, but is not specific to that, is as follows. So when I was a teenager, I was like really, for some reason I really wanted to have a family, but especially like to have a partner, someone who I would kind of be, who I could look after and who could look after me. And that was what I always thought of being as the really nice idea. And I really wanted to have children, really wanted to be a dad, which is not a word I would use for myself now, but is a word I used for myself then. And I knew I wanted to have children. Always wanted to have daughters, interestingly. Perhaps not surprisingly, because even before coming out as genderqueer, I always found, as you may know from some of my other vlogs, I had issues, like I didn't get on well with boys in my class or at school, and I sought out the company of girls. All my friends were girls, and I just thought that was the kind of company I wanted to be keeping. And so I wanted daughters. And I really always just wanted someone who would like take because I always found like social things difficult, making friends, talking to new people, and I thought, well, if I had like an other half, like if I met my soulmate, then all the pressure of that would be off, because I could just spend all my time with this person. That's really not how it works. But that was what I thought I was going to do. And always I thought, okay, well, this next person that I meet is going to be my soulmate. Or when I go to, when I kind of, like if I was going away to like some kind of, residential thing with a club or something at school, and I would think, well, I'm going to meet someone at this thing, who's going to be my soulmate. Or especially when I came to university, my God, I thought, yeah, university, first day I'm going to meet my soulmate. It didn't even have to be like a romantic partner, like could just be a best friend. I really thought that my roommate in first year of university, like I knew I was going to have a roommate, and I thought, yeah, this person, I'm going to meet someone who, is just going to be like the person who I will like connect with, and we'll just like, but then that didn't happen, because he was, well, let's not go into that, but suffice it to say that it did not happen. But what I came to realise, especially once I came to university, that was okay. And that what, in the event, I have what Quentin Crisp describes as a marriage to oneself. Because the one person that you're stuck with is yourself, and so you might as well get on with that person. And I think that was the process that I was kind of involved in, that I was kind of forced into it because I wasn't very good at getting on with other people, and so I decided that it was, or not, I don't think I decided, I just unconsciously came to realise that I was developing my relationship with myself, and at some point I realised this consciously and continue to do it, and I don't know where I kind of realised that. I remember in first year of university, before I came out as genderqueer, a friend saying to me that I was really more comfortable in myself than a lot of people that she knew, which is kind of nice to hear. And the idea that I wasn't kind of striving to be accepted by a social group. And then, but a lot of this was kind of through books, and I was just kind of reading and getting kind of new ideas. And there was a great book I read, which I can't believe I haven't talked about on this channel before, because I tend not to think about it for a while, but it was a book by John Stoltenberg called Refusing to be a Man. And there's a lot of things wrong with this book, which I now realise, but at the time I just kind of drank it in and I was like, yeah, all this is like, yeah, refusing to be a man. There's a lot of things wrong with this book, but it was really, because it's possible to be a man in a non-patriarchal way. And I now have, wow, the light just changed here. I now have friends who are men and kind of own that identity, and are kind of have that identity in a way which is empowering to themselves and others. But at the time, this was a really kind of influential book, and kind of I used to push myself away from that sort of thing, and to find the identity that I now, or to start working towards the identity that I'm now working towards. Because I always say this, that I really want to become more comfortable with my masculinity and other people's masculinity. And I don't think I'm there yet, but I think I'm getting there. And also, I've just, I've become, oh, the light just changed again, just when I look, sorry. I have become much more comfortable with the idea that I'm not going to, never say never, but that with the idea that I wouldn't, magically meet a soulmate who is going to be the one person for me with whom I spend the rest of my life, and that's okay. I'm hoping to meet a cat with whom I can spend the rest of my life, but that's a bit different. Or the rest of the cat's life. Well, that's a horrible thought. I should have many cats. Sorry, tangent, thinking about having cats now. I'm going to name all my cats after different kinds of tea. Have I said that before? But yeah, coming into the sort of person that I want to be, has it's kind of like when you're building a sandcastle, I always find that when I'm building a sandcastle, it seems like, especially if you're building an elaborate sandcastle, then it seems fidgety, and it seems kind of unrewarding sometimes, but it never feels pointless, even though to an outsider, the outsider could say, what are you building a sandcastle for? What are you wearing makeup for? What are you doing all this? What are you reading all about gender for? What kind of relevance does this have? And it wouldn't seem to outsiders, so it doesn't seem pointless, because I've never really thought this as being pointless. But when you're building a sandcastle and it seems like you're not really doing very much, like it's just kind of fiddly, but you've kind of got a vague plan, and you're looking for things, and then suddenly you kind of take a step back. You go away to get some shells or something, and then you kind of come back and you've got a new angle on it, and you're looking at the castle from a distance now, and you're thinking, wow, how long have I been here that I've been like making this castle? And you kind of walk around it and you think, yeah, I did all this and I dug this whole moat and I wasn't even really thinking about it because you're too close in. And sometimes it's really nice to take some personal inventory and think, I've really come a long way. There's still a long way to go, and it's possible to have setbacks, but the point is that I'm sure I know what the point is. The point is that in the end you have the sandcastle, and that's the point, really. My argument then falls down because my metaphor then falls down because the tide comes in or somebody kicks over the sandcastle. But that doesn't happen with the sandcastle of who you are. That's where the metaphor ends. There was other thing I wanted to talk about, which is makeup, which is a big facet of myself, which I think is maybe something which is less good about my kind of gender evolution, because I was thinking just in the last couple of days, I really miss being able to... There have a friend who I think I've mentioned on GenderqueerChat before, who is a cis woman, but she shaves her head, and she has really short hair, and she also just kind of has a kind of low maintenance kind of look, so she can just kind of roll out of bed and just kind of be somewhere, which she does quite a lot, whereas I don't have that, because I find that my morning routine takes much longer because I have to put on my makeup, but I also have to do like kind of skincare because my makeup risks doing damage to my skin. So I find that I spend a lot of time doing that, and I would be, I'm not sure it's necessarily dysphoria, but I would be anxious going somewhere without makeup, and if like my kind of beard shadow was visible, and if I was out and I caught a reflection of myself in the mirror and I saw that I'd missed a spot like down here shaving, and I just happened to see it just kind of in there, which does happen sometimes because I have got a lot of hair and it's quite dark, then I would like be really anxious, and I would be like anxiously like covering it up with my scarf, and I don't know where that came from, because I never used to feel that way before I used to put makeup on. I would be quite happy to walk around with like a day's growth. Like I wouldn't necessarily shave every day. I would be quite happy to walk around with a day's growth. I think, yeah. So that sucks a little bit, but maybe it's just me being lazy. But it's worth it, I think. I've always thought that it's worth the amount of time that I spend putting on makeup. So yeah, that's what I think. Okay, see you next time.